Hello there, welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff happening in the VTuber world, and today we talk about how Dokibird was forced out of the Twitch Rivals tournament because of unfortunate circumstances. To understand what actually happened to Dokibird, we will have to talk about a lot of larger streamers, because Dokibird was not the only one who was invited to the Twitch Rivals event. He was not the only one who experienced problems. Many larger content creators such as Valkyrae and Sykkuno, as well as many others, experienced frustration when they were dealing with the Twitch rival situation. So you'll have to understand their POVs so you can understand Dokibird's POV better, right? So I hope you'll bear with me as we go through like Valkyrae's frustration with the balancing issues of the tournament.
AFK for most of the round. Yeah, well, we're going up against like 5 pros! It doesn't matter! They could literally all be AFK and we would still lose. Like, oh my god, what the fuck? Like, oh yeah, there was 5v6, what the fuck? Okay, you know what? I'm done. I'm actually so done.
We'll have to go through why Sykkuno was kicked and then eventually re-invited back in the team, even though he was originally invited by Twitch Rivals.
Teams having pro players counting as platinum, but Sykkuno's where we draw the line. Yeah, dude, Toast actually messaged me this morning. He was like, did you really get kicked? And I was like, yeah, I don't know why, but I mean... Well, I do know why. I guess it's because they thought it would balance the tournament, because people were complaining about balance. But like, I just don't know if it made much sense.
We sacrificed so many lives for you to come back, Sykkuno.
Oh my
we
God.
sacrificed, like, Doki left the rivals. Doki left Twitch Rivals.
Jesus.
Yeah, she said she's not competing.
Team Dokibird does not have Dokibird on it. Let that sink in.
Wait a minute. Dude, this happened at the last Twitch Rivals she was in.
Really?
Yes,
No
it was
way.
for Street Fighter. I took her spot because she was...
Oh no.
Oh my
Wait a
God,
minute.
Doki.
Wait, this is a recurring thing.
Well, I respect her like stepping down so her like teammates could get some recognition.
Yeah,
I think that's kinda
she
huge.
still needs to kick one teammate, right? Because she has 3 NTMR players.
Yeah.
What is NT?
And then she decided to leave so that more people that need more recognition could play instead of her, because she doesn't need it.
Yeah, that
She
makes sense.
sacrificed herself. She sacrificed herself. So
Yeah, she's a nice person. That's pretty
we
crazy.
lost so
though.
many nice people today, just so we can have you back, Sykkuno.
We will also need to talk about some opinions from pro players. I'll have to explain like what balancing is and why it's important for both the participants and the viewers. We'll have to go through Connor's experiences in his previous Twitch Rivals event where he was forced to promote crypto. Until this day, he's still getting a bunch of bankruptcy filings from the organizers of the previous Twitch Rivals. Don't worry, it will all make sense. It just takes time. You'll understand exactly why Dokibird chose to drop out of the tournament very, very easily as long as you watch this video till the end. So what Twitch Rivals is that it's a tournament organized by Twitch with the sole intention to promote Twitch itself, to gather more viewers onto the platform, to give the current viewers something to watch, and it's also a way for everyone to make some money. Twitch Rivals organizes a lot of events, a lot of game tournaments, and because there's one game that's popping off called Marvel Rivals, Twitch Rivals organizers decided, hey, let's organize a tournament with Marvel Rivals and let's do what we always do and invite a bunch of content creators and esports pros to the tournament. It will be fun. The viewers will love it. Everything started with good intentions. Unfortunately, Twitch Rivals has a history of being badly organized, which means they have a history of causing problems. And so it's no surprise that this time it caused problems to the streamers and everyone else participating in the event, one of them being Dokibird. But more on that later. Right now, we will talk about Valkyrae. Hold on. Yeah, so this is Valkyrae. She's one of the top streamers on Twitch. And here she's complaining about the balancing issues in Twitch Rivals because you see, Twitch Rivals made the mistake of changing the rules and adding more pro players to the game. And this is an issue because there are also a lot of streamers who don't know how to play the game. And viewers don't really want to see their favorite streamers getting stomped on by pros because all you see is just like your streamers just dying because they're just insects compared to the pros in the game, right? What's worse was like the rule changes happened a week before the actual event. So a lot of people had this dropped on them out of nowhere, right? The rules went from 2 pro players per team of 6 to 4 pro players per team of 6. And you can see here Valkyrae crashing out and at one point complaining about how she didn't want to go against Dokibird's team because let's be real here, Dokibird's team is filled with a bunch of pro players, which include Dokibird herself. And this is because, well, Dokibird is a top 50 player in Marvel Rivals, right? Because she's good at FPS games as well as games of this nature. So she knows a lot of pro players, she brought them into the tournament, and so Valkyrae is complaining about it. I would also like to stress that Dokibird is not the only team with a bunch of pro players. There are other teams like XQC and Shroud who also have pro players because everyone's playing for money right now. Dokibird actually saw like the pro players on the enemy teams, and what she decided to do was to fill her own team with a bunch of pro players as well. Valkyrae obviously wasn't happy with this, and by the way, it's not the fault of Valkyrae or Dokibird or anyone involved, it's just that Twitch Rivals made the mistake of adding a new rule all of a sudden, right? Who allow like 4 pro players per team, which changed the dynamics, and a lot of the anger was towards the balancing of the game. As the organizer, it is Twitch Rivals' responsibility to ensure that there's a balance of both pros as well as normal, slightly above average players in the tournament, so no one overpowers the other too drastically. You can see Valkyrae crashing out and saying, I waited 5 years to play in a Twitch Rivals just for this shit to happen? Like, this is insane. Who planned this garbage?
Is there other teams that wanted to play today?
Yeah, potentially. Let me get confirmation.
Don't say it. Dokibird's team wants to scrim. I'll fucking end my life right now.
No. We don't play Doki's team. We don't play Doki's team. I think
Say it, motherfucker.
like the fact that they're even stronger than this team that we're going up against is insane.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw up. Like, which Twitch staff member do I need to talk to? Like, I don't understand how this happened. Abe, give me their actually. Send me. DM
No.
me. I need to say something.
No,
Like,
no,
I
no.
waited 5 years to play in a Twitch rival just for this shit to happen. Like, this is insane.
Dude,
Like, who
I'm not
planned this garbage?
Dude, I'm not even kidding. If do you guys want to see the messages that
Yeah,
I
I
sent
do.
them?
Yes,
actually
I
do.
do
I
want to
actually
see
do.
the messages. Be like,
Yeah.
Dude, I
whose-
want to know if I would have
whose
railed them even harder, bro.
rat-ass idea was this? Like, I don't understand.
Dude, Ray needs to, dude, let Ray have the
No,
app, please.
give me-
Ray will
Please,
convey what I
need
want to say to them
I
in a
wanna
perfect
see
manner.
The logic.
I need to see what Ray will say.
I need to see the logic.
By the way, I just want to stress, Valkyrae is not specifically blaming Dokibird. Again, she's blaming the organizers of the tournament, which is Twitch Rivals itself, which incentivized the addition of too many pro players in the game. And this was a sentiment echoed by normal viewers, with this guy saying, it's a Twitch event which normally is there for game promotion. Nobody wants to watch casual streamers get stomped by high-level players. And then we have Myth, which is someone participating in a game, saying they changed the rules about like 3 times regarding what skill level certain teammates could be. If you're a team that locked in people around the first ruling, there's 0 chance of winning tournament. So fucking scuffed. You can see another viewer chiming in saying, the format has always blown my mind, either make it a pro-level tourney or don't. Creators who play other games will never ever stack up to the sweats and grinders, referring to the pro players of Marvel Rivals. 1 top-ranked player per team to help coach IGL, plus 5 creators under a certain rank. Tons of laughs and fun. And now we have Bogur, who's someone participating in the tournament as well. And he's important because not only is he a pro player, so he has that experience perspective, he's also the one coaching Sykkuno, which I'll explain more in a second. And he's giving his take on the situation through Valkyrae's crash out, saying, for context, the upcoming Twitch Rivals had a 2-player limit for Grandmaster players, which basically means pro players, but they changed it to just 4 players just a week before the tournament. Now it's just a bunch of Eternity threats, and Eternity is basically one of the higher ranks in Marvel Rivals, like us, with over 300 hours stomping on streamers who are just there for fun. So he's even aware of the problem. So it's strange that Twitch Rivals isn't aware of this and allowed all of this to happen. Bogur continues saying, at this point it's more of a pro tournament where the high-rated players will game and everyone else will be AFK. Twitch Rivals, IMHO should be about content creators learning the game, competing and having fun. But how are they supposed to do any of that if every game is a stomp? And now we reach the Sykkuno problem. And I know a lot of you who are Dragoons, like myself, know who Sykkuno is. He has collabed a lot with Offline TV. He has also collabed a lot with Dokibird, right? So you know who he is. And Sykkuno has a problem. He was kicked out of the tournament because Twitch Rivals believes he's a pro player. So you guys remember when Valkyrae complained about, having too many pro players in Twitch Rivals? Well, she was not the only one complaining. And because of that, Twitch Rivals decided they would change the rules back to the old one, right? So what has happened is basically initially, Twitch Rivals allowed 2 pro players per team. And then, 1 week before the event, they changed the rules again, so there would be 4 pro players per team. This is where Valkyrae crashed out. And then after she crashed out, Twitch Rivals changed the rules again, back to the old rules, which is basically 2 pro players per game. 2 pro players per team. And that was the reason why Sykkuno was kicked out. Sykkuno was actually a diamond player in Season 0 of Marvel Rivals. So the tournament considers him a pro player, even though he clearly isn't. With Hybrid adding more context to the situation, saying, it doesn't make sense. Sykkuno is nowhere near a pro's level or even Grandmaster. I saw the reason he got kicked was because he was diamond last season and their team needed platinums, which is beyond stupid, but it is what it is.
To be honest, guys, I was pretty sad last night. It was pretty sad. And the worst part is I was in the middle of practicing solo queue. I lost, like, I went from Plat 1 to Plat 2 because I was soloing Wolverine at 3 a.m. And then Bogur was like, hey man, like, you have to be removed from the team. And I was mid-game, and I was like, oh wow, that's crazy. Not gonna lie, I threw the game. Teammate trash talked me, kind of deserved it, but like, I was just really sad. I was like, man, I'm out here like 3 a.m. practicing, and then like mid-game, you just get told, hey, buddy. So I was pretty sad about it. May have gotten kicked from the Twitch Rivals tournament. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're having some kind of meeting to figure out what to do. So we don't really know fully yet, but psych, relax. No need to crash out. I'm not even... I feel like I'm just explaining what happened, but basically what happened was, you know, the teams weren't super balanced, as how it is with Twitch Rivals. It's always... like, it's pretty hard to balance. Ray's team has been struggling a lot because the other teams are, you know, just better than them. There's a couple of rule changes that made their team weaker. Basically, everything was kind of cooked. I'm going to say everything was kind of cooked because, like, so if you had normally stuck the rules, right? Now, I'm going to... shots fired. I mean, I will say, like, it was rigged against them, but at the same time, if you had stuck to the regular rules, everybody on Ray's team stopped at, like, Platinum 1, 99 rating or whatever, because they knew they could rank up higher, but didn't, so they could enter the tournament, right? Very short, we were just the sacrificial guy, I guess, because they kicked somebody out, and we happened to be the guy. I don't know how it makes sense, because I don't think I was that good, but...
And now we have more words from Bogur. This is the guy participating in Twitch Rivals. He's the one coaching Sykkuno. Sykkuno was on his team, and he'll talk a little bit about Dokibird later on in the video. And that Bogur, who's the pro esports player, he's trying to explain what happened to Sykkuno and why he got kicked. So here's the exact timeline. Bogur and Necros asked for platinum players. Twitch put Sykkuno and Ellum in their team. They coached Sykkuno and organized scrims to prepare. And then one day before Twitch Rivals, Bogur is told to kick Sykkuno because he isn't platinum. This whole situation is insane, right? Because Twitch Rivals basically was the one who invited Sykkuno, and now they're saying he doesn't need to be that. So this entire situation is just insane. Like, why would you do this to a streamer when you invited them in the first place? It doesn't make any sense. And this is Bogur actually explaining the situation on stream.
I'm actually gonna have a mental breakdown. I just got DM'd that we don't have to replace Sykkuno. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have a mental breakdown. I'm actually gonna have a mental breakdown. I think I'm gonna have a mental breakdown. I think I'm gonna have a mental breakdown. I think I'm gonna have a mental breakdown. I can't. That was tomorrow. I can, bro. I think Sykkuno is playing in the tournament. I don't... It's actually so stupid, because we said, you know, first the restrictions were 2 GM players. One else plat. And we said, okay. I found 2 plat players. They gave us 2 plat players as well. Then they lifted the restrictions to make it 4 GM plus players.
I think I was chosen to
4 GM players. So we just invited our gang, had to kick out the 2 other players. because it would just not be competitive if we just stayed with 4 plats. We played with Sykkuno. I coached him. We did the scrim yesterday. One day before the tournament, they tell us Sykkuno actually hit Diamond last season, so we can't have him. But it's funny because they invited Sykkuno, so I would suspect that they did the check before inviting him. And they checked only one day before the tournament. So, that's great. So now I need a new plat player. And the time you spend coaching Sai is useful to him, of course. But it's just it was a waste of time. We could have done something else with our time. You know, all the ideas we had just thrown out the window because now we need to find a new player who we don't even know what their player pool is. It's actually just so annoying.
Bogur is calling out Twitch, saying after the company watched the scrim versus Valkyrae and decided that the biggest threat was Sykkuno on Wolverine and not the 4-1 above all players, and he gave us a meme which shows Sykkuno getting shot to balance the tournament, which is pretty accurate, by the way. Others made more memes to explain what happened, showing that there were better players than Sykkuno because Sykkuno is like, okay, fine, he's above average, but he's not that good. There are other better players who could have been kicked, but you know, Twitch just chose Sykkuno, one of the worst players on that team. And he uses Wolverine, which is basically like one of the weaker characters in the game, even though there are people who have proved that, you know, Wolverine is viable for competitive play. I agree with Bogur here, in that Twitch should have asked for feedback from the creators participating in the game before organizing the event to save their creators from a brain aneurysm. Everyone is backing Sykkuno here, no one wants him to be kicked out of the tournament. And Ellum, the guy who was invited into Bogur's team alongside Sykkuno, is trying to show support by saying, if Sykkuno leaves, I leave with him.
But I've said to them, I said, like, obviously this boy has been like grinding. He's trying so hard to basically like make it, like to basically like do his best for it, and like he's been really excited. And I just can't do that to my friend. I can't do that to my friend. I can't do that. So, yeah, basically, if he doesn't play in it, then I won't play in it. You know, you know, I know they're also trying their best, but I also just like, I don't know. He's just my friend, and I don't want to like leave him kind of high and dry like that, you know? So, yeah. Bumbleberry said it literally perfectly. Moral of the story is if Syke isn't playing, then I won't play. But if things are still working, but things are basically still being worked out behind the scenes to try and make everything work out correctly. So regardless, it should all be fine.
Gotta feel a little sorry for Sykkuno because he didn't deserve this. He just wanted to play the game, and he's already done all the training necessary for it, only to be told that one day before the event that he can't join because they arbitrarily changed rules like 3 times to balance the game that should have been balanced from the beginning. And now we talk about Dokibird. Finally, Dokibird's moment has come. Because not only has the rule changes from Twitch rivals affected the larger streamers like Valkyrae, Bogur, and Sykkuno, as well as everyone else, including XQC and Shroud, it also affected Dokibird in the worst way possible. And unfortunately, there's no happy ending. So what happened to Dokibird was she was invited to the Twitch Rivals event. She was supposed to play Marvel Rivals, and you can see she had a bunch of teammates with Coney, Tobobo, Super Gomez, Remaxing, and Hogs. And they were all going to participate on January 18th. Unfortunately, Dokibird was forced to drop out because of the rule changes. Now, before we go through what Dokibird has to say, I think that it's best if I explain what happened before I cover what she said, because she wrote an entire essay. Okay, because if you read this essay on its own, you won't actually understand what happened exactly. So I'm going to give you a brief summary of what happened, and then we'll go through like Dokibird's statements. So what happened to Dokibird, and why was she forced to drop out from the tournament? Well, initially, Dokibird was invited to Twitch Rivals at a later date, which means she was kinda invited at the last minute, like there was time to prepare, but she was one of the last people invited. And she came in when the old rules of having only 2 pro players per team had already changed to 4 pro players per team, right? The rule that Valkyrae was complaining about. And Dokibird also took a look at the competition. Who was she up against? And she could see, right, in Shroud's team, in Necro's team, maybe not Necro's, on XQC's team, on all the teams, okay, maybe not all of them, but for quite a few of the teams, there were literally pro players that could just destroy her in a heartbeat. So what she did was she also stacked her team with pro players, which is not hard to do, especially when you consider that Dokibird is a top 30 ranked player in North America. So Dokibird has a lot of friends in competitive Marvel Rivals. Many of her friends are like in the top 500 ranks, and these are the cream of the crop. Creme de la creme, best players of the game. S-rank players, okay? If you put Sykkuno besides any one of Dokibird's friends, he would look like an insect, like an ant, whose only purpose in life is to get stomped. By the way, I'm sorry to Sykkuno if that offends him in any way. I'm just trying to say, Dokibird's team is stacked. So stacked that Valkyrae, when she's thinking about teams that are overpowered in the Twitch Rivals tournament, her mind automatically goes to Dokibird's team. Because almost everyone in her team are like god tier players. That's how powerful Dokibird's team is. And Dokibird's team is not the only team that's as powerful as that, right? There are other teams as well. But that's fine. That's fine because Twitch said it themselves. 4 pro players per team of 6. It's tournament legal. Until they changed their minds at the last second. You see, Dokibird actually received some rumors that Twitch was going to change their rules last minute. And she even contacted Twitch rival staff and her contacts to ask if anything was a problem, and she was texting her friends, trying to inform them of the situation, and at the end of the day, they informed her, okay, nothing is happening. None of your teammates are getting kicked. Until one day before the event, where Twitch rivals told her, I'm sorry, we're changing the rules again. We will only allow 2 pro players per game. This is the 3rd rule change that kicked Sykkuno out of the game, right? What this means for Dokibird's team is because they have 4 pro players, they have to remove 2 pro players in order to remain in a tournament. They basically have to replace like the 2 pro players with 2 new noobs, people who are not as good in the game. So now Dokibird has 2 options, which is option 1. Do what Twitch Rival says, pick out 2 people on her team that deserve the spotlight, even though it's unfair to them, and try to get 2 new players within a limited time frame that she doesn't know and try to make it work. Or option 2, which is what Dokibird took. Instead of kicking 2 players out of her team, Dokibird would choose to sacrifice herself by kicking herself out of the team. This way, she would only need to kick 1 pro player. Get it? Because Dokibird is also a pro player herself. She's top 30 in Marvel Rivals. She's a ranked player. So if she leaves, that means she counts towards that number. Doki took the fall, so the rest of the pro players could continue in the team uninterrupted. She sacrificed herself for the greater good of the team. And now what the new team needs to do is just find 2 more players who are new to the game and add them to their team, and they can just continue as usual. Which kind of sucks, especially when you consider like Twitch Rivals invited her. Like she did nothing wrong. She was just responding to the rules. Her team was tournament legal until one day before the tournament, before the 3rd rule change from 4 pro players per team to 2 pro players per team. Dokibird sacrificed herself so Hogs could actually, show off what he could do. And now we take a look at the essay that Dokibird wrote so we can understand more about the situation, with Dokibird saying, unfortunately, there'll be no Marvel Rivals Twitch tournament from me tomorrow. I had to drop out as a captain because I was forced to cut 2 of my teammates who have peaked Eternity and above. By the way, Eternity is basically 1 rank below the one above all. If this was Apex Legends, Eternity would basically be the 1 rank before Apex Predator. I made the decision to cut myself out because my teammates deserve the money and exposure more. I know this was a tournament that you Dragoons and I were really looking forward to being in for the last 2 weeks, so I'm sorry. There's a lot I can say, but I don't want to create more drama. I just want to stop being targeted for bringing a team that was within the guidelines, and then forced to find replacements within a day before the tournament. I'll just stream something else tomorrow. I don't know what, but I'll try to do something to keep my mind off things at the same time. And true to her word, Dokibird actually chose to stream on the day when she was supposed to participate in the Marvel Rivals tournament. Now for Dokibird's essay. Jesus Christ, it's so long. It's like she's trying to be an honor student. Dokibird saying, I thought about it for a long time, but I'll make one last statement. I was invited to the tournament last minute when the rules allowed 4 diamonds and above. I was not aware of the old rules and I asked for the team list to gauge how competitive it was going to be. I saw some teams that were stacked already and tried to make a team that followed the guidelines I was given. When I got the invitation, I was playing with a few people who were helping me end in top 500 in Marvel Rivals, and they ended up being on my team since I asked them to join me during my rank session. During the last week, I was told by multiple people and my teammates that rumors were being spread that I was going to be disqualified on Saturday, or that Twitch staff was planning on making me change my teammates. My teammates got worried and asked if this was true since people were saying this to them, so I messaged the staff multiple times and quadruple checked everything and was reassured that it was not the case and that these were just rumors, that my team was and is within guidelines and that nothing would happen. And all this was even before confirming my team officially. I asked if this was okay and was given the same reassurance. I was relieved, organized a scrims, scrimmed with my team, did VOD reviews, and made strategies for the tournament. Being told with less than 24 hours that it was indeed happening just felt depressing since I felt like I did everything I could to avoid this exact situation. I understand that those who dropped out will be compensated, but I didn't join the tournament for money. I was even given an option to join a random team that needed a high ranker to make up for it, but I wanted to play with the team I made, with people I'm comfortable with. I just enjoy the game so much, and as a content creator, it's rare for me to be invited to these types of tournaments and to be able to compete at a high level since I'm not a pro, but yet I have a high rank. Putting me in the pro category is always such a detriment to any team I join because I cannot perform at a level like that, if ever. I'm just a competitive person, but I'm not at a level one will call professional. There's so little opportunities to compete for those who are content creators but aren't as skilled as regular pros, but are grouped within that category. And I just want to experience a competitive environment again, for a game I was really passionate about, referring to Marvel Rivals. In the end, I decided to drop out because the team I made was not a team full of big streamers and was a team that wanted to do well for an opportunity to have eyes on them in a big event and potentially grow from it and have a chance to win a bigger prize money. I want them to be able to have that opportunity since I've already been fortunate enough to be lucky and experience lots of support and growth because of you guys. Even if I'm not able to participate, I hope you support the rest of my team and cheer them on. Imagine that, guys. Team Dokibird without Dokibird in it. Well, technically the team name has changed to Mr. And this is basically one of the participants that Dokibird invited in. I feel really sorry for her. And it gets even worse because while Dokibird made the noble sacrifice, a bunch of people started poaching the team members from a team. So it's not a happy ending. As you will see in 1 second, this is something Dokibird said in the stream chat. Wait a minute, is this the right one? Okay, this is the one where she says she's forced to drop out of the tournament and saying, you took it for the team, I'd rather get cut than my teammates. Crying, but it's for the best. I don't need the clout or money as much as my team. Okay, this is the part where she's complaining in chat. There's another one. There's actually another chat where Dokibird is complaining about how people are poaching members from a team after she chose to sacrifice herself for the team. Okay, we have Dokibird saying, no one is here, but I found out from my team that I dropped out for nothing because other teams purposefully broke the rules even after the new rules were placed and got away with it. And they justified targeting my team because it was broken and too strong. But that wouldn't and shouldn't exempt you from cheating. I don't know if Twitch will even do anything because my team and other teams that had to drop players complained in the Twitch chat, and it looks like they are ignoring them because their voices aren't big. I hate drama, but I also hate how unfair this is to everyone. At least sub out the players that they sneaked in that were unfair, especially if they pushed for the new rules 24 hours before the tournament. The fact that readjusting the rules were pushed by these teams but they end up not following it themselves is what makes me sad. I still had access to the Twitch Rivals chat and so many teams ganged up on my team after we yelled how unfair it was, and one team even made an accusation that a player was smurfing. But it's because she never played Marvel Rivals before and started learning in the last 2 weeks, but is good at shooters and other games, who accused us of smurfing, but we provided every record of our players. Dokibird continues saying, and I pushed that we had to stick with the rules because I knew teams wanted to rulebook us. I'm not even playing or involved anymore, and just hearing how my team is getting ganged up on and bullied makes me so mad. Just because they are all really small content creators, I'm just happy Coney's there to speak for them and defend them. The player they accused of smurfing also was hard start goal in Overwatch because they said she had to be good in at least Masters in Overwatch, lol. I hope they do well tomorrow even after all the accusations against them and being targeted. That's my rant into the void. Well, not really. I'm gonna spread it. It's such a horrible situation to be in. Imagine doing all you can to stick to the rules and then the enemy team doesn't even wanna follow the rules, trying to keep things fair when most of the teams against you are actually ganging up on you, and at the end of the day you don't even get the justice you deserve. Like, that kind of sucks. Not gonna lie. It sounds sad. Let's hope the team does well. But that's not the end of the story. Sykkuno was actually allowed back in Twitch Rivals. He was kicked and now he's back in, and he's playing right now. And at one point when they were discussing how happy they were that Sykkuno was back in the game, Bogur and Sykkuno would talk about how they had to do better because of Dokibird's noble sacrifice. So at least there's a consolation prize.
A casual slot is considered is someone who's like Grandmaster or below, peak in season 0, which means you're now in our casual slot.
I'm saved. Thanks for saving me, Captain Necros. So, you're the greatest Spider-Man of all time.
Yeah, but like initially it was like Diamond, so they were like, oh, hold
Captain
on, you
Necros.
have 5 pro players in your team, so they were like, okay, you gotta axe Sykkuno.
We sacrificed so many lives for you to come back, Sykkuno.
Oh my
we
God.
sacrificed, like, Doki left the rivals. Doki left Twitch Rivals.
Jesus.
Yeah, she said she's not competing.
Team Dokibird does not have Dokibird on it. Let that sink in.
Wait a minute. Dude, this happened at the last Twitch Rivals she was in.
Really?
Yes,
No
it was
way.
for Street Fighter. I took her spot because she was...
Oh no.
Oh my
Wait
God,
a minute.
Doki.
Wait, this is a recurring thing. So the last Twitch Rivals, she wasn't there either, so I was playing for her.
Watch out, they're headed our way.
History repeats itself.
Not for as bad of a reason, though. It was actually kind of a good reason last time. But...
Well, I respect her like stepping down so her like teammates could get some recognition.
Yeah,
I
but
think that's
but
kinda
she
huge.
still needs to kick one teammate, right? Because she has 3 NTMR players.
Yeah.
What is NT?
That's
So
the
it's
name
like
of the team.
it's like one of the best teams in America.
Oh, like
for
they're like
Twitch
a real
Rivals, for
team.
Marvel Rivals. Yeah, they're
Okay.
an actual team that gets scrim and I think maybe get paid too.
Dang.
So she had 3 of those members in her team, and then she decided to leave so that more people that need more recognition could play instead of her, because she doesn't need it.
See ya.
Yeah, that
She
makes
sacrificed herself. She sacrificed herself.
sense. Yeah, she's a nice person. That's
Man,
pretty
we
crazy.
lost so
though.
many nice people today, just so we can have you back, Sykkuno. Just so we can have you back, we lost so many people.
Oh my
So
God.
we gotta show up tomorrow and we gotta win. We need low gang. We need to grind now. You need to grind. And you
I
need to
will.
pop
I
up.
will.
You need to do it for everyone that believes in you and everyone that sacrificed themselves for you. For everyone. We need to do it for ML and for Kaiji and for Doki and everyone else that is no longer in Twitch Rivals.
You know what? You're right, man. You're right.
Yes.
All
This
the
is like
teams that
we're
said we
gathering
were
their energy.
OP, we got to be just as OP and beat them worse than we would have.
Yes,
That'll
we need to
fix
log
it.
in. If we don't win this tournament, we spit in the image of all of these people that believed in us.
Oh my God.
Our
That's-
fans,
that's-
our friends, our families.
Jesus, that's a lot of...
Pressure, I know.
Yeah, what about Ellum, though?
Ellum,
Yeah, he
we
can
don't
stay.
we don't expect anything.
No, I
from
mean...
Twitch Rivals is a very badly organized tournament. Not many people are organizing this, so sometimes they drop the ball. Even Connor from Crash Taste. I guess some of you may recognize him from his friendship with Iron Mouse. But yeah, Connor from Crash Taste actually complained about the Twitch Rivals drama, and he would talk about his experiences when he last participated in the previous Twitch Rivals, which caused him a lot of problems, like how he was forced to promote a crypto platform. Connor would also complain about how he kept getting bankruptcy filings every single month because the organizers or the people hosting the previous Twitch Rivals went bankrupt and they owed him money, and that's why he keeps getting these like bankruptcy filing letters in the mail.
One also other thing that I didn't like is that I didn't know which sponsors they were going to put on my stream. And so during our Twitch Rivals, we had like crypto.com and all this other shit. And I was like, dude, what the heck, man? Like on my stream. And I'm not getting paid for it, you know? So It was very frustrating. That was very frustrating. And then that one really sucked because that felt, it's like yes, they put on a show for you, but then they also profit massively off my creativity, my effort, and what I was bringing to the table. And at the same time, it felt like I was being like undermined creatively as well, which is also the most frustrating thing for me. Pretty much every experience I've had in the Twitch Rivals has not been ideal. On top of that, once a month, I receive letters from lawyers about bankruptcy filings because one time, I think I joined I believe it was, I can't remember which one it was, but basically the company that was running it bankrupted, and I was then... You know, I'm on like the list of debtors because they didn't pay, so they didn't pay out. And so like, I was like, bro, what is going on? This is awful. No. Let me double check to make sure. I'm pretty sure. Okay. Yeah. So every month I would get like these letters from. Okay, I'm pretty sure it was Twitch Rivals. I could be wrong. I'm near certain this one was a Twitch Rivals. Let me check. You can refresh me. But it was this VOD, the one with Apex Legends Hide and Seek with Iron Mouse and Bow. So whichever company was supposed to pay out, I think they ended up bankrupting, and so they never paid us out for, I think, our cut of that. And so every single month I get like a bankruptcy filing from them, because I'm part of the case for some reason. So they're like, you know, apparently they owe me money. And it's like, dude, just stop sending me this mail. I'm never going to get this money. Just leave me alone.
The controversy was so large that even Disguised Toast, someone who was unrelated to drama, would comment and react to the drama. Well, I guess he's not actually an outsider since he is Sykkuno's friend, after all. Despite all the problems experienced by Dokibird as well as all the other streamers, there were some people who were trying to explain like why Twitch Rivals was the way it is and why they had so many problems. And this is a Liquid Mendo. He was someone who was supposed to participate in the Twitch Rivals project, but he got kicked like everyone else. And so now he's talked to people behind the scenes and he's providing information on why Twitch Rivals is so scuffed. And since he is a participant and since he was kicked, I think it's fair to listen to his opinions because he has been badly damaged by the incident and he's willing to speak out to defend the event. We have Liquid Mendo saying, important note to add on, the developers of Marvel Rivals had a lot of say in the team structure and format. Twitch Rivals usually runs events with a headliner. This time they didn't get permission to do so from the Marvel Rivals developers since the game is so new and there's no clear choice for a headliner. I'm certain the next event will have a headliner and will be much more structured. They, referring to the team responsible for hosting Twitch Rivals, are a team of less than 10 people that runs 60 events a year. They rely on headliners that are native to the space of the game to help. They don't have the same kind of manpower that they used to after the layoffs. Any player kicked, including me, is still getting full payment based on their team's eventual placement. Any player kicked is also going to get pushed on stream if they want, so they can co-stream and still get that traffic boost. They, referring to the organizers of Twitch Rivals, feel super bad about the entire situation and think in the end it's their responsibility to communicate the streamers' wishes to the developers for a successful event. The guys at the team were all awesome. There is no hostility there and they all truly just want an event that people will have fun in. They're adding extra money to the prize pool to pay out any player that doesn't play. Liquid Mendo would provide some more clarification saying, I got removed from the event because of the last minute changes and I was one of the people that suggested the last minute change to them. It's the best way to go about it so everyone can still have fun. I suggested it not even being aware that they would still pay me my cut. I can agree with Liquid Mendo here that they are understaffed. I mean, a team of 10 hosting like 60 events per year. Like, that's super excessive. But I'm still not really happy that Dokibird has to experience like so many problems when they did everything by the book, you know? And when everyone's complaining, someone is obviously at fault there. But I don't see how they can do better when they only have less than 10 people like running the Twitch Rivals events. Like, what's the solution here? Because I don't see it. At the end of the day, while Dokibird didn't exactly get the happy ending she wanted, things move on. It's just a tournament. Wounds will heal with time and things will move on. I'm sure one day this will be a blip on the map that everyone will laugh about. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. This is Terry Nebula signing out.